Hi, I just wanted to say sorry for the crazy hair. I've been painting all day, and so um, I just wanted to get this video in before I forgot. For my Newberry um, reading log, I have chosen Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. It was copyrighted in 1960, has 194 pages, and it's roughly for about 5th to 7th grade, 8th grade um, ages. It's basically about this girl named Karina, and she's 12 years old, and her brother and her end up stranded on this island. What happens is the Aleuts, which is like the bad guys of the book, came and they fought with a bunch of people from their tribe, their community, and one of them ended up killing Karina's father. So they decided to pack up and get on this ship and go to the mainlands. And so everyone was on the ship, even Karana. I don't know how to say it. I say Karina, but I think it's pronounced Karana. But anyway, Karana was on the ship, and she looked back and saw that her brother was left behind. So she jumps out of the ship and she goes to him. So on this island, it's just her brother and her and a bunch of wild dogs. And so her brother seems to think that he is the chief now because he's the only boy on the island. And he's about 9 years old. So he goes out by himself after his sister told him not to. He goes out by himself to try and find food, and he ends up getting killed by a pack of wild dogs. So Karana is left on this island for 18 years by herself. She goes through many obstacles through this time. She has to fight the wild dogs. She has to find shelter and make shelter. She has to find food for herself. She has it in her head that she is going to get revenge on this dog that killed her brother, because her brother was very special to her. So one day she had an opportunity to kill the pack leader, which is the dog that killed her brother, and so she wounded him. And then she felt a little sad or guilty, and so she takes this wounded dog to her house that she built, and she basically nurses him back to health. She names him Rontu, and this dog ends up being her best friend. They do everything together. He goes in the canoe with her. He, everywhere she goes, he goes. He's her best friend. Um, so, um, she later finds out that her family and her community that had left on the ship never made it to the mainlands. They ended up drowning before they got there. And so on the ship was also Karana's sister. So she has no family left whatsoever. Some time passes and Rontu ends up passing away. And then she finds another dog that looks kind of like Rontu, so she names him Rontu Aru. So I guess that means like Rontu 2 or something. But anyway, so 18 years have passed since she was stranded on this island, and someone finally came to rescue her, or found her, and rescued her and Rontu Aru. This ship takes them to a mission that is located in Santa Barbara, California. And then a few weeks later, or some time has passed, and Karana ends up passing away, mostly because of the food that she was now eating. She couldn't digest it like others could because she was used to fish and nuts and berries um, for her meals, and so it didn't go well with her stomach, and so she ended up passing away. And I have heard that this book is based on a true story. I don't know how accurate that is, but it was a really good book, and I would recommend it. And children would love this book because it has so many obstacles and so many, um, so many different things that happen throughout the book. It's just bam, 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 one thing after another, and so you don't want to put the book down. And it's good for children because it teaches them how to survive and how to live on their own and um, build a shelter and find food. And it teaches them how to be alone if they have to be. Um, I know the children that we read it with, which were 7th graders, the English teacher and I, they enjoyed it. They did not want to put it down. They wanted us to read it over and over and over. It was just amazing. And knowing that it could be a true story, they really liked. So my activity for this story is while I was a para for this 7th grade class, the English teacher in chapters 11 and 12, I believe. I don't have the book in front of me, so I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure it's chapters 11 and 12. Karana goes into deep detail about what her house was made of and what was around her house. Like for her fence, she used whale ribs for her fence around her house to protect her house. And so there was just a lot of detail in those 2 chapters about what her house looked like and what she did to build it. And so for their final assignment, they had to build Karana's house, how they thought it would be if they were in that situation. Some of them used clay, others used cardboard. There was a lot of super glue used. There was a lot of paint used. And so it was just a whole lot of fun. It was so much fun. So I would probably steal that idea and use that for my activity for this book. Thank you.